So yeah, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today I got you guys all a video going over the most overpowered and the best burst weapons here in Call of Duty from COD 4 up until now with Modern Warfare 2. So let me know in the comment section, what is your favorite or what do you think is the best burst weapon ever in Call of Duty? But of course, starting off with Call of Duty 4, we do have the good old M16 here. This thing is absolutely overpowered. It's the definition of overpowered and broken. It's a 3-round burst assault rifle, of course, and you only need to land 2 shots out of the 3 within the burst to kill the enemy with stopping power. That's why it's so broken, because you can just cross map 2-shot people with this thing, and just like that. It's just so incredibly easy. It has barely any recoil, and it's basically kind of like a sniper. So yeah, the M16 in COD 4 definitely up there, being top 3 best assault rifles and best guns in COD. So moving on to the original Modern Warfare 2, we have the FAMAS right here. So in this game, it's a 3-round burst, of course, and this is honestly, in my opinion, way better than the original M16 back in COD 4, because you can shoot this thing a bit faster, and it also has less recoil compared to the M16 from COD 4 2. So that's why I think it's a lot better, and it's just more, I don't know, it just hits different here in this game. If you have not tried this gun out, you seriously missed out on a gem. This thing is highly underrated because people always gravitate towards ACR, UMP, and the Scar H, but people kind of forget about the FAMAS and how insane this weapon truly can be, especially at those longer ranges. So this is definitely top tier, and in my opinion, I think this is the best gun in Call of Duty, period. So next up in Black Ops 1 is the good old G11. But if you guys are brand new around here, then definitely hit up the subscribe button for more Call of Duty content like this here. But the G11 definitely is a very unique type of weapon because of just the way it looks and that insanely cool reload animation as well. It reloads from like the top of the barrel. It's definitely one of those, it's definitely a unique looking weapon, and you could put like the scope on it too, which makes it look like a gun from freaking Halo. So it's definitely one of those guns that you remember from Black Ops 1, and it's honestly pretty good. I don't really see people using this all too much because everyone always uses the FAMAS, the Galil, the MP5K, but don't be fooled by the G11. This thing is not bad at all whatsoever, and it's definitely pretty good. But going up against Final Stand users can be pretty painful because you do have to put an extra burst against the enemies. Just as a whole, Final Stand is just so annoying to deal with in Black Ops 1. But let's just go to the next burst weapon. The Type 95 from Modern Warfare 3 is next up here, and this game doesn't have that many good burst weapons, or just this game doesn't have that many burst weapons as a whole. The other one is the M16, and it's not even that good. I mean, it's decent, but obviously it's not like the M16 from COD 4. But regardless, the Type 95 here, it was broken at one point when the game first came out. I remember they did have to nerf this thing back in the day because like it was so broken. It used to shoot incredibly fast. I think it used to even 2-shot enemies. So yeah, it was actually that effective and that good, but it still is pretty damn good, especially when you do use it in Infected. It's one of the weapons in Infected, and it's actually so fun to use in Infected because it's really consistent. You know, if you are very precise with this thing and you're very accurate, then you are going to be doing very, very well with this weapon. So that's going to be it for MW3. Let's go on to Black Ops 2. The M8A1 is that one burst weapon that definitely stands out here in Black Ops 2. This was the very first 4-round burst weapon in Call of Duty because before this we only had 3-round burst guns, so this was definitely a first to see, and it's a very cool gun, first of all, with the design and look of it, and it's such a very competitive weapon here in Black Ops 2. If you are a good player, you will definitely show how good you are with this weapon, and I feel like just about anyone can use this just because it shoots pretty damn fast, you know, but it definitely shines if you are an extremely good player, you will just beam people with this, getting easy swarms, getting orbital VSATs, the K9 units, and so on and so forth. It's definitely a pretty overpowered and fun burst weapon. So in Advanced Warfare, we do have the ARX-160, but more specifically, the ARX-160 Hole Puncher variant. This is a professional variant, and this is definitely one of the best weapons in Call of Duty, period. Not just as a burst weapon, but just as a gun as a whole. It's a top 5 gun easily, in my opinion. And if you did not use it, man, you really missed out on this weapon. You really missed out on how incredibly crazy this gun was back in this game's prime, because it does have extra damage added to it because it's that professional variant, and that extra damage goes a long way. The 3-shot, the 1 burst range, it gets increased heavily with this variant, making it extremely powerful, and you'll be getting those 1 burst kills so often with this thing, even with the silencer. So yeah, you can shoot this very freaking quick too. There's like barely any burst delay, so this gun is just a complete and utter joke in a good and overpowered way. So Black Ops 3 is up next, and the MA is returning, but it's called the MAA7 here in Black Ops 3. Some people may say it's better in this game compared to BO2, or it's actually worse. I feel like they're just about on the same level, slightly, but the M8 from Black Ops 2 definitely does shoot a lot faster, so that one kind of does feel better in a sense. This is a slightly nerfed version of it, but it still is pretty solid for this game, man. Like, all the pros in the competitive play always use the M8, and yeah, all the freaking sweaty tryhards just beamed you with this gun. It's definitely a god gun for sure in the right hands. And that's pretty much it with the MA, and also the Pharaoh too. Some people may think this gun is garbage and trash, but nah, just this gun is underrated in my opinion. I think the Pharaoh is definitely top tier, especially at those close ranges, because very up close this thing can actually 3-shot, which is incredible. So that is gonna make this gun a very fast killing consistent weapon up close, especially on smaller maps. And honestly, it does have a good like burst delay. It shoots, you can follow up your burst pretty quickly, kill the enemies pretty fast, and it's an auto burst, meaning you can just hold down the trigger and it'll just burst on its own. You don't have to automatically press the trigger over and over again, which is definitely a good thing with this Pharaoh, which definitely makes it a very different and a lot better compared to most burst weapons. So that's why I think this gun is pretty good. You may think it's not, but I have had very good experiences with the Pharaoh here in Black Ops 3. Now let's move on to Infinite Warfare. The R3K right here is a 3-round burst assault rifle, and it's a very incredible gun. When the game first came out though, this gun sucked so much though. There's a 3-round burst pistol in this game, right? So when the game came out, that 3-round burst pistol had more damage and more range than this 3-round burst assault rifle, which is pretty sad. But it obviously got buffed, and it's definitely way better now. I've gotten the most amount of nukes with this gun compared to any other gun in the entire game, because it's just that easy to go for nukes. It's my go-to weapon for nukes here in Infinite Warfare. So the next burst weapon in this game is going to be the Radiant EMX. This variant in particular is called the Eliminator, and it turns it from a 3-round burst to a 4-round burst SMG, and that's what makes this incredible. This 4-round burst variant is just so hard hitting. It's so overpowered and very consistent. It's definitely one of the most fun burst weapons that you use here in Call of Duty, and it doesn't even have that much of a long burst delay, so you can pretty much spam this thing. Imagine like the MAA1 from Black Ops 1, but in SMG form. That's kind of what this Radiant EMX SMG is. It also does have an EMP launcher, but it's kind of useless, not gonna lie. Aside from that though, yeah, it's definitely a very amazing gun here in Infinite Warfare. The 3-round burst variant, just like the base gun on its own, isn't bad, but the 4-round burst definitely is where it's at. So if you get this from a supply drop, you definitely are in luck. So let's go to Black Ops 4 next. So in this game, we have the double tap operator mod for the auger. So by default, it's a semi-automatic weapon, but when you put that double tap operator mod, it turns it into a 2-round burst. And when you combine this attachment along with double high caliber, which increases damage to the chest along with the head, this is going to be a 2-shot kill. You just have to land 2 shots, just simply one burst with this weapon if you do aim high enough towards the chest. So yeah, this is actually a very dangerous weapon. It's a very godlike gun, and you're basically invincible when you use this weapon if you use it right and you do have very good aim, because the amount of easy like kill streaks you can go on and easy sniper nests you can get with this is just incredible. It's so fun to use. Put on the recon scope with this too, and you're gonna go to town with this weapon alongside with the swordfish too. But I say with the Pensa operator mod, you have to use this operator mod, because it turns it from a 4-round burst into a 5-round burst. It's basically the M8 of this game, kind of like the Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 M8, but a more futuristic version of it. The thing is with this game, since this game has a 150 health, it does take 5 shots to kill. So you can get a 1 burst kill only with this operator mod included with this gun. If you don't have the operator mod on this gun, then you cannot get a 1 burst kill with this weapon. I'm not sure if you can if you include with the headshots, but you can't normally, which does suck with this gun. So I'm only including this because it's a popular gun. I don't like the swordfish all too much because I like the auger way more, but it's still a good gun for this game at least. So now let's go to the final Call of Duty. So yeah, finally with Black Ops Cold War, we do have the Carve 2 burst rifle. This thing is definitely pretty unique. It shoots very freaking quick, and it barely has any recoil. So it's a pretty strong gun here in Black Ops Cold War, and I think that it's very underrated. But I don't know, I was gonna include either maybe the AUG or the M16, but honestly, I think this gun is just miles better than the AUG and the M16. Unless you guys think otherwise, I'm not sure. But another gun that I'm debating whether or not to have here on this list is maybe the KSP. I don't know. Maybe if I include this gun, I should have had the M16 and the AUG. I don't know. But this is a burst SMG, and not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan of this gun at first. But if you use it correctly with a correct setup, and you were actually good with this gun, it's gonna be a powerhouse of a weapon for real. Like, this gun can be super damn good. I've seen people go on just kill streaks and massacres with this weapon, so it can be pretty good. And the reason why I'm betting on Cold War is because Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2, the new MW2, obviously there's no good burst weapons. So that's gonna be the entire video. Thank you guys so much for watching the entire video, going over all of the best burst weapons in Call of Duty. Peace out.